Fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside.
Hey, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. This is our 122nd show. And my name is Rosemary Lachance, and I'm an energy healer and a spiritual therapist.
And I'm Lisa Burton. I'm a heart-centered lifestyle coach.
And we are co-hosts for this thought-provoking series and are dedicated to providing you with food for thought information and answers to all modalities of alternative healing, spiritual development, animal welfare, environmental concerns, and so much more in the form of guest speakers who are experts in their fields. If you know of any subjects that you would like us to discuss, or if you know of anyone who you think would make an interesting guest, please let us know. Email us or call us. And please like us on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box, where you can learn about and see pictures of some of our past guests and ask questions or leave a comment. I hope you enjoy the show.
Yes, terrific. Tonight we are so happy to have Kevin W. Reese with us. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Nice
Welcome.
to have you.
From a distance.
It's a long reach.
Yes.
And Kevin is a holistic health coach and a detox specialist.
Mm-hmm.
He trained at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and the International School of Detoxification.
Mm-hmm.
Drawing on his extensive training and personal experiences, he created a lifestyle called Eat the Sunlight. And in this program, he teaches clients lifetime skills to help them overcome serious health challenges. So, we're very excited to have you here, and hopefully you'll give us all some good tips. And we'd like to ask how you got started on your journey of health.
Sure. I mean, I got started how a lot of people get started. You end up with your own problems, your own health challenges. So, that was something that I needed to tackle myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely, I wasn't well, and I had to take care of that.
The clock is not working.
So, what was your first step in the process?
First step, well, knowledge.
Okay.
Knowledge, start learning, start, figuring out, what you need to tackle and what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then tackle it and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up learning about raw foods and juicing and things like that.
Okay.
And before I knew it, I was 50 pounds lighter.
Wow. So you were sharing with me earlier you were a radio personality at that time.
Yeah.
So you had a very hectic lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking fast food probably.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Fast food, late nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Late night eating, you mean?
Late nights, a lot of things. But I mean, yeah, definitely I didn't, health wasn't a priority,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you are trying to make it in show business.
Right.
And, and then you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders and stuff. So I was definitely heading down the wrong path. And boom, 28 years old, I hit a wall. And I needed to make some changes, and I did.
Great. So when you talk about your program, you say healing is done through the 3 Ds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious what the 3 Ds are.
Diet, de-stressing, and detoxing.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have diet,
Mm-hmm.
de-stressing,
Yep. And detoxing.
and detoxing.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you can have the perfect diet, but if you're stressed out of your mind, or you have a toxic relationship, or you have a job and you can't stand your boss, something like that, I mean, your lymphatic system's going to be tense, so that diet isn't going to work like you would want it to work. And then detoxing is, well, first of all, diet is explanatory. I mean,
Right.
eat the right foods,
Right.
put the right fuel into your body. And then detoxing is cleaning. If you're going to have a party at your house, you clean up.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to have a shindig at the house, I'm sure you're going to clean up that night or the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. You want the steak and potatoes? Okay, have the steak and potatoes. But don't forget to clean.
Okay.
And people forget that.
Okay.
What's a toxic relationship? Would you tell our audience?
A toxic relationship? I mean, just in my opinion, it's two people that just can't get along, bickering, you know, lots of resentment, you know, just, you know, give them 1 hour in the same room and there's going to be a little, you know, so, you know, that's definitely something you want to, you know, avoid.
Well, then it's a good reason for somebody to break up with someone and just say, you're not good for my health.
You know,
Did you hear that, everyone?
Yeah, it's funny, but yet it's so true. It really is. I mean,
I'm sure it is.
There's a lot of people holding on to relationships that, you know, they gotta let that go. You know, and they probably hold on to it because of ego.
Right. Now,
people want to be
that's
alone,
getting me to think about something, because I don't think I ever really paired so much emotional health with a relationship and my physical health.
That's right.
Yeah.
And my diet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I've had people, I've seen people that are on a juice fast, and they're like, you know, I'm not really getting the results I want, and you know, I feel shaky and I feel weak, and I'm like, I've done many juice fasts, never shaky and weak. Like, you know, so you dig deeper, and they're like, you know, finally you find out that they hate their job and they hate their boss, and it's like, yeah, man, dude, get off.
Right.
Go back to regular food. You're not ready. You're not ready.
I see.
You have to be in the right environment. You have to. The conditions have to be correct in order for you to do some detoxing and heal.
Right. Interesting.
What was I going to say? Yeah, but it's not that easy to leave a job. You know, I mean, if you're working and stuff, it's not easy to leave someone also. But I mean, could there be a way to kind of change the person's outlook so that they can work well in this job? I mean, or do you think that it's a must that they leave it?
I think that's a case-by-case basis, you know. Sometimes it can be worked out. Sometimes they need to change their perspective.
Right. That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, if you keep looking through a keyhole every day, your world is going to look like a key. So, you know, if you change your perspective, you know, maybe it can change. That would be step one. If it still doesn't change, then yeah, leave the job.
You have to leave the job.
Leave the job.
A lot of people are not happy where they work or what they do.
Nope.
Very miserable, and then they wonder why I wasted all my time doing that. Yeah, I know, it's true. It's just that it's hard, I guess, to worry about the money, you know.
Yeah.
So
you know, society's set up, you know, the way it is, and you need some money for your own economy. And but I personally would rather be broke working on my passions, because then I'm still rich.
In a different way. Yeah.
I know when I get depressed, I'll want to eat, you know.
Of course.
Yeah. That's,
of course. A lot of it comes from, you know, memory. It comes from memory, right? It's like you're watching TV and you see say a pizza commercial. Your memory says, oh, I know what that tastes like. I know what that tastes like.
Right.
And then you got classical conditioning like a dog. Right? Pavlov's dog, I learned that in, I don't know, middle school maybe, elementary school. They ring the bell and the dog starts having saliva because it knows it's been trained.
Food, right.
Bell,
It's
food, bell, food. That's what they do to us on TV.
Right.
That's what they do to us.
Well, our you know, I'm Italian, so your Italian heritage kicks in too, because
pasta.
everything is solved with food.
Yeah,
You
good
know,
times is
right,
food.
It's, well, good or bad, everything is food.
No,
You
what
know,
I mean,
if
you think of good times when you're young and the family and everybody eating,
Sure.
put the food on the table, many courses.
Who put birthdays with cakes? I mean, who invented that?
I wonder, I never thought about that.
I mean, it's like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Put the candle somewhere. Sorry, I had to say that.
You know, and another thing, I did a talk a few weeks ago, and this came to my head in the middle of the talk. You know, football. Football. What do we associate football with? Pizza, wings, fried chicken, pizza, wings,
Popcorn,
fried chicken.
Tailgating,
everything.
yeah, all
You
that,
know,
yeah.
and that's something that's new. That's over the last 20 years. You know what I mean? That's now. You know, you got a 13-year-old kid who likes football. They automatically, you know, we gotta get a pizza, Dad. Sunday,
Right.
you know, we gotta get
Right.
pizza. You know, so it's like we've been brainwashed. I don't know any other way to sugarcoat it.
I remember being out like shopping or doing something, and I'll walk by some restaurant or something, and I'll smell something, and I'll go, oh, I gotta have that, gotta have. And I keep thinking about it, and then I say to myself, what's the matter with you? Before you smelled that, it wasn't even a thought in your head to have this pizza or hot dog, whatever.
That's right.
So yeah, it has a big, yeah.
That's right.
It does.
So when you work with your clients, do you focus on each of those 3 areas to help them sort through their struggle?
Yeah, when they do a lifestyle conversion program with me, we tackle all 3. Absolutely. Some sessions are just strictly food. The next session may be strictly personal life. Absolutely.
Oh, good. So you tackle everything.
Yep. Yep. It's got to be those 3 Ds. They got to be in alignment. They got to be in alignment. And then some people may be wondering, exercise. Exercise falls under de-stressing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we could go through each of them a little bit in more detail.
Sure.
So the diet is somewhat self-explanatory.
Well, yes,
although, I was going to say although.
Somebody's watching and they're like, okay, diet. But what?
Yeah.
What? What do I eat? What do I eat?
'Cause
there's a lot of choices at the grocery store, right?
Right.
Well,
right. And I know I don't make choices always based on health. I make it on convenience.
Right.
But I'm thinking you might have some strategies to combine both.
Yeah, my strategy is simple. You're a monkey.
Okay.
That's it. There's your diet.
You're a monkey.
You're a monkey.
Eat bananas and peanuts? What does that mean?
Well, the only other animal besides us that have thumbs that, have similar digestive systems are primates, right?
Okay.
And they eat 50% at a minimum fruit.
Oh.
We're frugivores.
Okay.
And that's something that society, for whatever reason, doesn't want us to know. Because we sit here and we argue, we're herbivores. No, we're carnivores. No, we're omnivores. No, we're neither. We're nothing. We are frugivores. I'll give you an example. If you eat a ton of meat, you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel sluggish, etc. If you eat a ton of spinach, well, your poop's going to come out green.
And it's a lot of iron. You might get a little constipated. Yeah.
It's going to come out green. I know you peaked. Everyone peaks.
You have to.
And the reason why it comes out green is because you're not digesting it properly. Because you're not meant to eat that much. Now, elephants and cows, etc., they can eat that much because they have multiple stomachs, right? So if we're not the herbivore and we're not the carnivore, we're definitely not an omnivore, which is both. That would be dogs and pigs and bears. Or a frugivore. If you eat too many strawberries, your poop isn't going to come out red. If you eat too many oranges, your poop's not going to come out orange.
That's true. I
That's
never thought about
because
that.
you properly digest it. You were born to eat fruit.
Wow.
And that is the most simplest way I can say where the diet should be. And that's a lot where the term eat the sunlight comes from. The sunlight, plants, chlorophyll, photosynthesis.
What about them telling us we have to have the protein? They're big on protein.
Yeah.
Got to have your calcium. You got to have your dairy.
Yeah.
What about all that?
Well, that keeps the medicine going.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
So you're saying we don't really need that?
No.
I don't think
Protein is made up of amino acids. The amino acids are in uncooked fruits and vegetables.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise,
Okay.
how would a gorilla doesn't take protein shakes. I'm sure it'll beat all 3 of our butts right now, one shot, boom. Right? Gorillas, big, strong. They eat almost 90% fruit.
Wow.
I don't
Never
think
thought
in
about that.
any of my reading ever, in many, many years on diets and a healthy lifestyle, have I ever heard somebody tell me the importance of fruit.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
A chimpanzee eats 50% fruit, about 20% greens and blossoms, and then a little percentage of like bark and stuff like that, and then a little bit of insects.
A little bit of what?
Insects.
Oh, insects. Okay.
So you should go home and dig in the ground a
we
little
should
bit.
get a few insects. They have fried grasshoppers.
Yeah, the cicadas are coming back.
Chocolate
Did you hear
covered
about
ants.
the cicadas coming back?
Yeah, somebody's
Yeah,
going to
the
kill
cica-
them and eat them.
The cicadas are coming
But
back.
the moral of the story is we should be eating around 50% fruit maybe 20 to 30% greens, leafy greens. Okay, we need to stop with the potatoes or vegetables. Otherwise, we could eat French fries.
What about like zucchinis and things like that? That's not
fruit.
leafy, but
Fruit.
zucchinis are fruit?
Sure.
Oh.
Anything with a core or seeds is fruit.
How about that?
Right?
I didn't know that either.
Right? Like kale, spinach, all that grows from the ground. Right? Zucchini
Carrots, yeah.
and all that grows off of something, off of the bush or the tree.
Right.
That's fruit. Right?
Wow.
We take the apple off of the tree.
Right.
The apple doesn't grow from the ground itself like spinach does.
Well, I hope everybody's enlightened like I have
Yes,
been,
me too.
because
I
in
am.
less than 5 minutes, I feel like I've gotten a world of education.
If you eat a lot of fruit, life will change, your bowels will change, you become a happy person, and you poop good, you live good, let me tell you. And it's also very detoxifying. Okay? If I was going to detox somebody, I'd put them on a high fruit diet. So the vegetables, slow you up. Can't really detox too much on vegetables, but fruit.
I have heard that, but fruit's the cleansers of the body.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially watermelon, berries.
Berries,
Sure.
you have to buy organic though, right? Because I read that there's no skin on them, so when they spray them with pesticides,
Yeah,
they're loaded with them.
sure.
So if they're going to have berries, if you're going to eat berries, you got to get organic.
Yeah.
Nothing will wash them out into the insides.
Right.
But like watermelon has a skin, bananas have a
Sure,
skin,
oranges.
have a skin,
And that's another thing is
peaches.
the fruit with the rinds and the covers, right? What other animal on the planet can eat an orange besides us? A monkey. No other animal is going to figure out how to peel it. No other animal is going to know how to peel it, going to figure out what to do with it. They don't have any thumbs.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you give an orange to your dog, it's going to think it's a ball.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
So
true.
did we cover diet? That's
What about
good,
nuts?
Good for diet?
Nuts are similar to a fruit. They grow off of a tree.
Okay.
However,
Yes.
we start cooking them. We cook them and then we throw salt on them. You want them raw, and then you also have to understand that it's harder to digest. So if you want to eat nuts, you should soak them.
Oh yeah.
Soak them so that it digests better.
They have no flavor then, right?
Well,
The water kind of takes it away.
you could always throw some sea salt on it, but yeah, I mean, we want to make sure the digestive system is going.
Flowing.
It's got to be moving all the time. Same with the lymphatic system, those two systems. Yeah, or you're in a world of problems.
So I'm thinking water's probably important too with this whole picture.
Yeah, I mean, typically you should drink half your body weight, typically. But if you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables, you're eating a lot of water.
You're getting water that way.
Yeah. So, the alkaline foods like apples, oranges, melons have water content in them, whereas
Yeah, they do.
strawberries and bananas don't. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
juice.
true.
You can't juice strawberries and bananas. If you ever hear somebody say, "Hey, I juiced strawberries today," they didn't. They made a smoothie because there's no juice in those foods. Yeah. So you can mush them up and emulsify them, but you can't drink just the juice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So are we good on diet? You think,
Okay,
think
yeah.
that's enough for
Gotta-
diet?
we
You want to
cover
move on?
everything.
There's more, but
Oh, go ahead.
we-
Give us some more.
Oh no.
That's enough
Why?
for now. Maybe we'll come back to it.
All we need to know is that we're monkeys and we can climb trees and we can open up fruit, and life will be beautiful.
And that's a priority.
That's a priority. 50% fruit.
Wow.
Now somebody out there is like, "No way, there's too much sugar. You're gonna get diabetes. Your teeth are gonna fall out."
Yeah, right.
All that. Well, it's fructose. It's not sucrose. Sucrose is what they take from the sugar cane, and then they throw it in the brownies and the cookies, et cetera, and they get you addicted to some cream pie.
Right.
This is a different kind of sugar. This is fructose. This is right off the tree.
So your
So
body
that's okay.
processes it easier or better, or it processes it.
Fruit digests in about an hour.
What about fruit juices?
Sure, highly detoxifying though. You gotta be careful. You may end up breaking out in a rash, or not that that's a bad thing. That means something's coming out. But if you don't, plan your life around it, yeah, you're gonna be at work with a rash on, on your
Fruit
body.
juice will do that, huh?
Powerful. We're talking powerful
You're
stuff.
I'm talking fruit juice that you buy in the stores.
No.
That's not good, is it? Because
No.
I'm
talking about with a juicer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a juicer.
Yeah. You want to eat anything that's not advertised.
It's not advertised.
Yeah. I never saw a blueberry commercial,
Oh, you're right.
Hey, try these blueberries. They have antioxidants. They do this. They do that. Good for your memory. They're good for this. Come buy them. Never.
No, you're
Never.
right.
Wow,
But there's blueberry Pop-Tarts,
Yeah, blueberry juice, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay.
All right, so
and
we're
what's the second
going
D?
to move on to the second D.
Yeah, what is
Okay,
second
so that
D?
was de-stress.
De-stressing, meditation,
Okay.
Exercise, yoga, jogging, just having gratitude when you wake up in the morning, being happy, just being relaxed, being in the moment, not being an anxious person, right? You guys ever meet an anxious person? It's just like...
Yes, and they make me nervous to be around them. I know, I've seen that. This is too nervous. What? Comes in the house. I know somebody like that. Come in the house, run around like, woo, and left. Who was that? White tornado.
Tornado.
Yeah, people that have anxiety are they're clenching up their lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is the key to it all. That's your sanitation department, and if that's not flowing, then that's what causes the other D, the big D, which is disease. And that's really all what disease is. That said, de-stressing is very important, and not being stressed, and life changes. Life changes when you're in the moment, and you get rid of that fear and that anxiety and stuff. So.
Do you think that people who are hyper, like you're saying, are nervous, tense, do you think some of that is caused by what they eat? Would you think that?
Well, yeah, the artificial foods. Sure, I tell my mom all the time, and get off the gum. She's always chewing the gum. Get off the gum. Stop with the gum. It's artificial. It's not real.
What's the purpose of it? Right?
There's no purpose of it. I read a study one time, and I don't know if it's true, so I'm just paraphrasing, but I heard that chewing it's dictated to thinking. So if you have a lot on your mind, you want to chew. Chew. So gum is one of those things,
Yeah, I guess so. I must have not a lot on my mind. I don't care for gum. Just get a little bit there, change the taste, and then
you could do it with bread. Bread is very chewy. Bread, pasta. All those things are kind of chewy. So that's why we're overeating the pasta and the breads and such. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually want to chew. Someone said once that they like eating like potato chips or nuts or doodles or things like that. People like to crunch. They like to hear that crunch for some reason. I heard that a long time ago.
They could do the same thing with an apple.
Yeah, satisfying. Yeah.
Same thing with an apple.
Right.
That's why we got these teeth. Some people will tell you it's for animals.
Right,
but
they do. They think that.
I don't suspect any of us are going to chase down a deer, take it down with our teeth, murder it, and then eat it on the spot.
You know how many people would stop eating animals if they had to kill it themselves?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 3/4 of the population.
Yeah.
But we're all a bunch of hypocrites, right?
That's right.
You kill it, I'll eat it.
That's right.
Don't let me see it. I don't want to hear. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Something like chicken isn't an animal to people. It's
Right. Yeah.
It's just a food you buy at the store,
Right.
just like cake.
Yeah.
Right.
Cake,
Exactly.
chicken. It's in the same category,
Right.
One's sweet and one's protein.
That's right.
Protein. And then there's another thing about protein is you see the chicken in the store and it says 20 grams of protein, but it's not cooked yet. So there's a little trick right there for you, because your digestive system can't handle it uncooked.
No.
Which is why we're not meant to eat it. But then you bring it home and you cook it. Is it still 20 grams of protein? No, because you're changing the chemistry of that food. But they didn't lie to you. It's 20 grams of protein.
In the package.
Uncooked.
Tricky. They're tricky.
Tricky.
Anything to sell their meat. They're animals.
Sure. Yeah.
People don't really know what they're eating.
Like if we had this conversation on Oprah or Dr. Oz or something,
wouldn't be able to.
No, we'd get sued.
Sponsors censor that.
We
That's
know.
how we can talk.
Nobody would pay for the show.
Yeah, on public television, yeah, so much better.
I feel like I want to go back to diet for 1 second. 'Cause
Sure.
I'm getting the sense that raw food might be something that you
Yes.
tend to promote also.
Yes. Yes.
So-
I don't, if somebody can get to 100% uncooked food, hooray to them, but
How about yourself? Like, because I would consider you an expert. So how are you managing that in
yeah,
your life?
I'm about 80%.
On raw food,
Yeah.
uncooked?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. Like, what does the day look like for you?
A lot of fruit.
Okay.
A lot of fruit, sure. I think a smoothie is the best breakfast you can possibly have because 1, it's fruit, and 2, it's emulsified, and you're waking up from a fast. Breakfast, break fast, breakfast, break fast.
So what do you put
So
in
it's going to be cleansing at that time? Or
Well,
detox?
it's waking you up. It's waking your digestive system up. Your digestive system just went 6 to 10 hours with nothing because you were sleeping. So now it's like whatever you put in there is very significant. And so you want to give it fruit because it's easily digestible and it's high vibrational. It's electricity. It's
Right.
electricity.
What do you put in a smoothie beside fruit?
Berries. Well, berries, coconut water,
Coconut water. Okay.
organic berries, coconut water, and maybe a banana.
Okay, so to make it liquid, it's coconut water. I was wondering because people put milk in it, or almond milk. You could put almond milk, I guess.
Sure.
All those milk. That's not dairy. Yeah, it's delicious too. I love it. Rice milk, hemp milk. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so that's breakfast. And what would lunch look like?
You'd want a mono fruit meal. You take 1 fruit and you eat it. So instead of having 1 orange, have 5 oranges.
I see. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because fruit is great, as I already described, but it's even better when you're eating only 1.
What about supper?
Oh, we haven't got to lunch yet.
I thought that was lunch.
No,
Oranges.
That's before.
Oh, between meals.
Lunch, you could do a salad with some healthy fat.
So olive oil?
Olive oil, sure.
Healthy fat?
Avocado,
Avocado. Yeah.
Sure.
It's wonderful. Wonderful food.
sure. And then for dinner, you can have your cooked meal.
Pasta? No, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't recommend it, but
I'm just kidding.
if you're eating that way during the day, then it'll help balance you out a lot.
Yeah, if you do, you can have a little bit with some vegetables and so forth. Pasta and vegetables, yeah.
Sure.
Beans are good. Yeah.
Sure. But beans you can't eat raw
No.
unless you sprout them.
Right. You got to cook them. Yeah, they got to be cooked. Yeah. Okay.
So can I ask just quickly where grains fit into all this, or
Oh, yeah.
grains are not suggested?
You can't eat them raw unless you sprout them, just like beans. But if you eat them in moderation, sure.
Like oatmeal
Sure.
or the quinoa is good for
Sure.
you. Buckwheat.
Sure.
Things like that.
Sure.
I wouldn't recommend wheat because it's like, well, they say that it used to be have about 10-15% gluten. Now it's like 50% gluten.
Right.
They've changed it so much. And we all know soy and corn are all genetically altered too. So not good. Okay.
Wow. All right. So I think we're good now.
Yeah, on the diet. Now, the next D.
Question comes up.
The last D.
The detox.
Sure. Detox is cleaning and strengthening your insides. You got to do it. You got to clean. You got to get, if you're going to have a party, you got to clean. So, flush out. We have all this toxins inside the tissue, inside the cells. And it's just got to go bye-bye. So you do that with fruit, you do that with herbs.
Okay.
Oh, herbs. Okay.
Sure.
Throw some of those herbs in something in the water and on the food.
You can do it through teas. You can do it through tinctures. Sure. But detox, you don't just do it. I mean, you got to plan it.
Yeah.
You got to plan it.
It's probably 2 years ago now. I had done a yeast detox.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was brutal. It was brutal. In a month, I dropped 30 pounds like nothing.
Yeah.
All the belly fat disappeared. Pretty much all the fat in my body disappeared. But the process, that I was affiliated with, it was a lot of pills and such a hard diet lifestyle for me.
Yeah.
Like nothing. I couldn't have anything.
Right.
That I couldn't maintain it. So, needless to say, everything kind of came back. But I'm thinking there might be different ways to detox that are not quite so...
Yeah, you could do little ones.
Drastic.
You could do a 10-day.
Drastic, yes, because it was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, you could do intermittent detoxing. You could fast 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
You fast 1 day a week, that's 52 days a year.
Would you still have to detox if you're eating all that fruit and you're eating right and doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
You do, really?
Sure.
Why?
What about what you breathe? What about what you breathe? You know, what you're putting on your skin, lotion, shampoos, you name it.
Wow.
Anything that goes in your bloodstream, basically, which is almost everything you see on commercials on TV.
Okay.
I sense your passion for your knowledge. I'm wondering why you're not angry. Maybe you are. You just haven't shared it with us
I'm angry
yet.
because it's hot right now under these lights. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I know it is.
It is hot. But we're really being bamboozled.
Yeah. I already got past that angry phase.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's natural in the beginning, but now it's time to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I hope to do with Eat the Sunlight, is contribute to that. Sunlight is a non-threatening term, so that we can get away from vegetarian or vegan. You know, you can still eat steak and, you know, increase your sunlight. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can get this message out and, you know, kind of be a little edgy. You know, I'm still a young guy, and I hope to be able to, you know, get the 15, 16-year-old kid excited.
I made a note about kids here.
Yeah, because that's the only way that things are going to change. You get the 16-year-old kid to change, he raises his kid different.
Right.
Change America.
Right.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
What gave you the incentive to transform yourself?
Because I realized that I only have one body.
This lifetime.
Yeah.
Per lifetime.
Sure, and it's our responsibility. You know, I looked at it as a job, and I looked at it as a failure. I'm failing. You know, sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm failing right now. I was given a body, and I screwed it up. But I can change it. So let's walk this path. And I'm not where I want to be. You know, I'm still a work in progress myself. So, and I always will be.
Well, I was going to say,
It'll never stop. And people ask
choice.
One of the biggest questions I get asked from my inner circle is, "You're doing another detox, or you're fasting again, or you're doing this, or you're doing that?" And it's like, yeah, you know, 30 years of eating like a maniac, you know, and treating. And I was a smoker, and you know, smoking a pack of Newports a day. You know,
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to do. It's like buying a house. That's a fixer-upper.
Good analogy, yeah.
And plus your point, too, about the chemicals that we expose ourselves to through our skin, that would be ongoing.
Yeah.
Never really thought about that either.
Yeah, everything.
Hair dye. Well, obviously I don't do
Yes.
it anymore.
No.
We
That
gave
was
that
one of the
up.
things
Hair
that I stopped
dye.
doing. Because I'm like, what am I doing every month pouring all these chemicals on my head?
Yes.
I think someday they're going to make some link to something
Yes.
that it's not the best for us.
You got it. You got it.
And the gel nails are my other thing that I'm kind of upset about. People.
And here's another
people do.
curveball. Here's another humdinger. You know, the medicine.
Oh,
The medicine. Right? The doctor gives
Exactly.
you prednisone. The doctor gives you, you know, Oxycontin or whatever. And, you know, that kills your bacteria.
Keeps us sick, yeah.
Kills your good bacteria. And
Is that what prednisone does too?
Prednisone, I think, is very, very harmful.
you know,
Or cortisone, prednisone, cortisone.
any of them. Any of them. Will they suppress the symptom for what you took it for? Yeah, of course it will. So won't changing your diet and de-stressing and detoxing. It's just people either don't want to put in the work or they're misinformed.
I think that's a big piece.
They're
Just
misinformed.
very misinformed.
You know? I went to the doctor today. I had a physical today, and you know, and he, you know, I want a copy of my blood test, you know, so I can read it. I know how to, read it. You know? So, so they kind of look at you like, huh? Like, why do you want that? You know, they start asking questions.
Well, yeah, why
do you want
I
that?
want a copy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my blood.
Yeah, it's my blood. I want a copy. Yeah. You know, or, you know, do you take any medications? No. You don't. Why? You know, it's like, why? Why don't you? You know, and they're just, medical school teaches them a certain way. It's not their fault.
Right.
Medical school, the system. It's the system. It's not the doctor. It's the system.
Right.
Right.
At the way things stand right now, medical doctor, you got to say that. You know, they're there for the key word, medical, medicine, medical medicine. So that's what they do. You go in, they troubleshoot, and then they suppress your symptoms.
They treat the symptom, though. They don't treat the problem like naturopaths do, yeah.
Well, you know, some naturopaths, you know, they'll give you every herb in the book, just like the doctor gives you every pill in the book.
Yeah, if they're not, yeah. Every.
At the end of the day, if you want to overcome something, then you have to detox. There's no other way. There's no other way. You have to go on nature's operating table. That's what it's called. It's nature's operating table. And this has been going on for centuries. This isn't new. It's not new. You know, Professor Arnold Ehret, you know, there's so many teachers out there. You can pick up a book anywhere.
Well, you know,
it's not mainstreamed. People don't.
It's
the
not
mainstream
It's
doesn't
not
know.
mainstream unless you turn on Dr. Oz and you see someone with a detox diet, which is 10 or 30 days, something like that.
People they say, I know what they tell me, and I'll take eating animals, for instance. People love the taste. I love the taste of a hamburger. I love the taste of a hamburger. And I said, wait a minute, hamburger? What do you really love? What they do? Do you just cook a hamburger and that's it? Don't put anything on it? No, we have the cheese, the bacon, the ketchup, the mustard, the mayonnaise, the bun. Okay? And that's what makes it tasty.
Sure.
But if you just take all that off and just eat the plain hamburger, it's not so tasty. And you won't miss it.
No.
Right? Am I wrong?
No, I agree with you.
It's what they make to put on it to make it tasty.
Sure, and then and even if you don't put something on it, you're still probably cook it in olive oil or something.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
So
But it never tastes as good as if they put all that stuff on it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Any piece of meat, we season it to death.
Sure.
So without that, people eat a lot less.
That's right. That's right.
If any.
That's right. But I don't think that getting rid of meat out of your diet is the cure all. You know, that's what a lot of people, you know, how they promote it, you know. Which is, again, this is why I created a category creating company, a category creating philosophy, which is sunlight. Just increase your sunlight. That's all you have to know. You still want your cheeseburgers and your milk? Fine. Learn about that later. But increase your sunlight. Increase your fruits and vegetables, and life will change.
I know you've had tremendous health success. You want to share some other successes other clients of yours have had?
Yeah, recently we avoided a woman having surgery. The doctor told her that she had to have a hysterectomy, recommended that she have a hysterectomy because she had some big fibroids, and her menstrual cycles were pretty wild for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And 18 weeks into my program, doctor said no more surgery.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They shrunk? The fibroid shrunk?
Wow.
You know, one went from a grapefruit to a golf ball, and the golf balls went to lima beans.
Wow.
And
wow, that's great.
It's just magic, you know. Not magic, but we'll call it magic.
Seemed like it, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's
but
terrific.
And another young lady was over anemia in 5 weeks. I mean, this isn't hard. This isn't brain surgery.
No, it's not.
So it's having information and having a dedication to
3 Ds.
follow through.
3 Ds.
Yeah.
It's just the 3 Ds. That's all it is, you know. The same woman that we're just talking about with the fibroids, one of her biggest things at the end of the program was dealing with stress. You know, she's like, I deal with stress so much different now. You know, and that's a huge part, because stress is, it's never going to go away as long as we're a human being in this type of world. It's never going to go away unless it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 70. There's always going to be stress.
Right.
Even driving can be stressful. You're in traffic. You have road rage.
Oh, yeah.
But learning to deal with it
and
learning what to do is part of that second D.
Yeah. And it's a lifetime skill you're teaching.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Has to be. 3
Ds. If somebody says, hey, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, just say 3 Ds. That's it.
So what's your overall initiative?
Just to make the sunlight a category creating term that needs to be a term, just like vegan. Just like vegan is a term.
So it's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, well, it's a food choice. You know, we need to get people to understand what sunlight is and how to incorporate it in their diet, and then we need to make it cool. We need to make it cool for the kids.
Those younger kids, yeah. Do you currently work with schools, or how do you get the message out to the younger crew?
I currently haven't tried, but I think just my style hopefully will just, you know, maybe catch on through Facebook and Twitter and stuff. You know, grassroots. You know, I'm not that far removed from the kids. You know, I'm only 33, and you know,
you're a good age. I get both sides. Yeah.
Sure, I'm 33. I feel 23. You know.
Yeah.
That's great. You have sunlight seminars coming up. What are they, and how can people find out more information about them?
Yeah, the sunlight seminars is like that's my healthtainment. I provide healthtainment. And I just take a little entertainment value and combine it with a lot of things we're talking about now. And yeah, you can find out information at eatthesunlight.com. And you know, I'd like to take it on the road eventually. But yeah, just, you know, maybe right now, maybe 4 times a year we'll do it.
We were talking about having you at the center in Hamden, the One Joy Center for Wellness, in June. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Yes. Yes, I would love to. Talking is my thing. You know, I am a health practitioner working with people on a one-on-one basis, but, you know, give me a crowd and a microphone, that's even more my cup of tea. And there's also programs on eatthesunlight.com. I created programs where there's not coaching. You just get the program and you follow it, no guesswork. So there's a 10-day cleanse, right, which is pretty common these days. There's a 100-day shift, which is a detox program. If anyone out there is looking to lose 50 to 80 pounds, that's what you want to do. And then there's the butt kicker, which is a quit smoking cigarette program.
Oh, how cute. That. Great.
So that's all there on eatthesunlight.com.
Right.
You have something called Sunlight Juice. So how long does it take to make it, and what's the recipe?
Oh, you have to watch the video.
Oh, okay.
There's a video out there on YouTube land, where I make the juice and I time it, which it came out, I think, 27 minutes.
Wow.
Because a lot of people are like, I don't want to do it, it takes too long. But 27 minutes, I made 2 glasses in 27 minutes, and that includes cleaning the juicer as well.
Wow.
So there you go.
That must be some juice, 27 minutes.
That's right. That's right. And Melly Mellows, which is a very popular cafe in Greenwich, they brought me on to create their juice menu.
Oh, wow.
So if you're in the Fairfield, Greenwich area, stop into Melly Mellows. They've been around for 20 years. So it was
Melly Mellows is a restaurant?
Yeah, it's a cafe restaurant in Greenwich, on Greenwich Ave.
Okay.
It's a very popular strip. And so that was an honor. So, you know, you can come see my face on the menu.
We have about 15 minutes left. So, okay, now I'm going to ask you, what is processed food in your opinion?
Processed food is a way for them to make it last. So, it's unnatural.
Yeah, but give us some examples. So people go to store, they buy, they shop.
Canned food, preserved, there's a lot of meats that are processed. Anything in a box or a package is probably processed in some way. Yeah. That pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah, I'm thinking as I walk through the supermarket.
Yeah.
So your cold cuts,
Just go down.
everything.
Just go down the cereal aisle.
Oh.
Then you ever notice that they're all colorful?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what food is really colorful? Fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's in front of us the whole time. The fruit's in front of us the whole time. What candy? What's the flavor of candy? Fruit. Want some gum? It's grape flavored.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Why don't you eat some grapes, man?
Right. I would call most of the cereal processed.
Yeah.
Because people think they're getting these grains when they're really not. It's ground up. They take the grain, they grind the heck out of it, so there's nothing left, no nutrition, and they form it into these pretty little things.
That's right.
To attract the children and give a little crunch. But that's all it is. If you read the box, it's all it is.
That's right.
Even the breads that say whole wheat, no whole wheat. Not in a supermarket.
Bread goes bad fast. You make some
good bread, yeah.
You make bread yourself, it'll probably go bad in 3 days.
Mm-hmm. You have to keep it in the fridge, yeah.
So.
But yeah, nothing in the supermarket is really what they say. For really whole wheat, but you don't even want to eat that unless it's organic. But anything whole grain, you have to go to a health food store to buy.
That's right.
That's really good for you. Well, they are carrying some things in the supermarkets now. They do have a health food section where they have some decent food there, compared to the health food store. So that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Not a big section, but at least it's something.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of things out there that are helping, Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. Do they have some negative things? Probably. Mm-hmm. But do they have a lot of positive things? Yes.
Yeah, much more so than...
We need to be thankful for that. Even Dr. Oz, that's a very mainstream show. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's America's doctor right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got, especially women. You look at the crowd. It's all women. There's no dudes in there. There's like 3 husbands sitting in there that got dragged. It's all women in Dr. Oz's audience.
What is? I don't ever watch him. What is the attraction to him?
Well, I think he's able to share this kind of information in a way that makes sense to mainstream people.
Well,
does he?
He's a host, so he's bringing on other guests, just like how you guys are bringing on me right now. So he's a host.
And he's a doctor,
he's a
so
heart
he has
surgeon.
Credibility.
He has credibility, and decent-looking guy who can appeal to the. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about that.
So it's Oprah picked up the right guy, but my point is that that although it confuses America, it's a step in the right direction, but it is very confusing. You turn on Dr. Oz and it's something new every day, So. But, salute to him because, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and then you're watching your TV at night and you're bombarded with a gazillion commercials that, tell you need to run to the drugstore.
What I do with commercials is mute them. As soon as they come up, mute button until they're done. You can bear them if you don't have to hear them. You can just watch them doing silly little things, and then you get as soon as the show comes back on, you get let off the mute button.
Well, what you should do is, I tell clients this. I tell people at Sunlight Seminars, get a piece of paper and log down every commercial. Write down every commercial, and then go back. Even 2 days later, go back to your log and log everything that goes into your bloodstream, and then log how many times there was food versus medicine.
And
sometimes you'll find a fast food commercial, and then right after is heartburn medicine.
Right.
Right after, like right now, like Larry the Cable Guy, the comedian, right?
Yeah.
He's doing the whole America shtick, Americans, we like our food, so eat anything.
Isn't that
eat anything?
dumb?
You take this stuff.
Oh God.
Next commercial, fast food.
Yeah.
That is so not for people who think.
Sure.
Kind of commercial.
Oh, yeah, but,
my God.
We're sheep,
Yeah, exactly.
pretty much. But, you know, the only way there's going to be change is by people voting, real voting, which is how they make their decisions.
Yeah, and I'm thinking boycott. Boycotting certain brands, certain products.
Well, just spreading the word so that, you know, you get your town to stop eating A, B, and C. And then maybe your state stops eating A, B, and C. And then more people stop eating A, B, and C. And before you know it, the food corporation's like, nobody's buying it.
Right.
Stop, put it out.
But getting the towns to do it is not easy because they lobby. These food companies lobby congressmen, all these people, and money to pay them to keep this stuff going, just like all the cattlemen and meat producers and everything. You know, that would be hard. But I think like petitions and things like that, we'd have to do it ourselves.
Well, yeah, but thinking, you know, parents can certainly approach their schools. If enough parents get squeaky about things, enough parents do, things will change.
Yeah.
So it's grassroots. It's grassroots.
It's very grassroots.
Yeah.
It's not something you're just going to bring to Washington and change.
But I think there would be a snowball effect, you know, especially if you get the right press around a certain school or a certain town who's made this commitment to health type of a thing.
Could be. Could be.
It may.
I'd like, once the Sunlight Seminars get off the ground, I'd like to do junior ones. You know, junior Sunlight Seminars, you know. Bring in a mascot, you know. Teach the kids, and we can talk about poop.
They'll love that.
Because I love talking about poop. And I know they'll like listening to it.
Yeah, they'll laugh. They'll think that's funny.
Yeah. So.
It's true. Yeah, but the children is good. The children, they get it, you know. We have about 5 minutes left, so.
That's because they have intuition.
Yeah.
And we lose ours.
Yeah.
We lose ours.
That's true.
We lose our intuition, you know. I've heard of. Haven't you ever met somebody that has a child, and they complain about the child's eating habits, and they're like, "He won't eat. I can't get him to eat." You ever hear that before? That's the kid's intuition. His body's telling him not to eat. It's not. He doesn't have a disease. Don't force a grilled cheese down his throat.
Right.
The body doesn't want to eat. He'll eat when he's hungry. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to protest. He's not going to fast. You know? So it's like that's the child's intuition, and the child's intuition in the first 10 years is very ripe. Ours is not.
You know, I just remembered, just popped back into my head, when I was a kid, all I ever wanted to eat was fruit. I'd climb trees. I'd go to grapevines.
You're a monkey.
Yeah. All I ever ate was fruit. That's right. I totally forgot that. And then they kept making me eat the meat, and the this and the that, and then the other, you know, and then I graduated to bread pizza with everything scraped off the pizza and just ate the bread. And my father would go, "Oh my God," you know, and then little by little I got used to, you know. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. You're right. I thought it was just the best thing that was ever was fruit.
If we were all born on some island and we weren't brainwashed by the TV and the radio and all that, I mean, we'd be climbing trees, we'd be taking out mangoes and bananas and supplementing with some nuts and some seeds, just like a chimpanzee would.
We have 3 minutes until we're going to give you information. So is there any last things like what you said? Oh, yes, here's something said that women put chemicals in their body every day. You said there's 515 chemicals?
Yeah, there's a lot of chemicals. I don't know if it's 515, but...
Okay.
Yeah, that was an article we put out. Yeah. There's a lot of junk in the
What would you say they are? Okay, hair dyes, maybe lipstick, maybe makeup.
Yeah, makeup's a big one.
Deodorant,
sure. And think about deodorants and lotions. We're putting them on when we get out of the shower.
Yeah.
Most of us take a warm shower, so our pores are open. Well, there you go. You're putting it right in your bloodstream because your pores are open.
To make it nice and soft. Make our bodies soft.
Yeah. We're conditioned to want to be, you know, we all want to be beautiful. And, you know.
So what should we put on our bodies? Anything?
Oh, you just find some natural hygiene stuff, you know.
So without all the fragrances and...
Yeah, there's a whole thing on eatthesunlight.com, a whole curriculum we just put up so people can study that. People can get their study on. Yeah.
See what they can use. So we got a couple of minutes. Any last words you want to say to our audience?
Man, just
Said you like to talk.
I like to do backflips too.
Okay.
But I'm mic'd up. I'm on a leash right now. So. No, just eatthesunlight.com, and we're trying to make that the source.
Mm-hmm.
Sunlight source. You know, so go to eatthesunlight.com and use that as your source. There's going to be recipes.
Oh, great.
There is a curriculum on there right now. Topics, you can go to any topic you want and study for hours.
Wonderful.
Hours. This is all free information. Just go on there and maybe, pick up a program while you're there. Follow me on YouTube because I do weird stuff
Okay.
on there. So, Kevin W. Reese, Reese. So that's like my new radio.
Oh, fun.
I'm not on radio anymore. That's my new radio is the YouTube. So.
All right. So people, they can also get in touch with you if they want to be helped individually and everything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. They can find all that on eatthesunlight.com.
Okay.
And we've said that a million times, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
eatthesunlight.com.
Easy to remember.
That's right.
All right. Well,
Terrific.
we're finished. The end of the show.
We should get a baseball
Didn't that go
bat
fast?
and we should smash these lights.
I know. It's very
Someone might
warm.
get
These
in
mad
here.
lights
at
are my enemy right now. I don't
know.
like
do
these.
that.
I know.
You're almost done.
Anyway, okay, we're going to give his information now. Contact information for Kevin is he's a holistic health coach, and it's www.eatthesunlight.com, or you can reach him at 347-770-4387.
Don't crank call me.
No.
Call me with, awesomeness.
There you go. To learn more information about this show or any of our past shows, please contact us at healoutsidethebox@yahoo.com, or to reach Rosemary Lachance, her number is 203-627-7966. Website is www.rosemarylachance.com. To reach me, my phone number is 203-804-0024, or my website would be www.theonejoycenterforwellness.com. We are also on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box.
And I don't have a quote for tonight.
You don't?
No, I don't have a quote for tonight. Something had come up when I was getting ready, and then it slipped out of my mind. I'm very sorry. We can think. Go ahead. Give us a quote. We usually read this nice quote at the end of the show. Go
Awesome. I have no problem doing it. This is by Jim Rohn.
Okay.
Great motivational speaker. And he says, if you don't like how your life is going, change. You're not a tree.
You're not a tree. There you go. That's very good.
Jim Rohn. R-O-H-N.
If you don't
Very
like the way your
nice.
life is going, change.
You're not a tree.
You're not a tree.
I like that.
Very good. Okay, then we're going to say good night. Good night.
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 It's the first time I ever forgot to call. You know that what's bothering me is pain. Oh.
Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand. Fear's not allowed where dreams can